Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today's session. I will introduce myself, and Vijay will also introduce himself. Just wanted to give an introduction of what we are planning to do. We are planning to hold a series of sessions on self-transformation. It is all about transformation of the body, the mind, and the soul. Each of these sessions will have the following. One, it will have a health and well-being tip. It will cover a scientific It will include a scientific benefit of meditation. We will have a 10-minute meditation session with some calming music. There will then be a short wisdom sharing session, which will be followed by a question and experience sharing session open to all. And in this series, we will also be inviting special guests to our sessions who will speak about their experiences on the path of meditation and well-being. Introducing myself, my name is Dinesh Shah. Since early childhood, I was associated with a devotional sect. I became a sadhu, a sannyasi in my 20s. During my time as a sadhu, I was a guruji, and I used to teach world religions, Eastern and Western philosophy, mysticism to the newly initiated sadhus. Whilst doing all the devotional activities, being a sadhu, I felt quite empty within. However, with the guidance of an enlightened soul, I turned within. I started meditating up to 6 hours every day, wherein I experienced profound peace. I left the sect after 14 years and returned to the United Kingdom. Professionally, I am an accountant and a senior director at Deloitte. I am a well-being coach and regularly speak on health and well-being topics at Deloitte and at various other organizations. Vijay, would you please introduce yourself?
Thank you, Dinesh. Hello, everybody. Namaste. My name is Vijay. And same as Dinesh, I was a monk for about 14 years in a devotional sect. For the meditation, I had the background since the childhood. And when I became a monk at the age of 20, initially I studied all the scriptures, Vedas, Upanishads, Gita, all the Purans, and also the Bible, Quran, Talmud, Tao, and other Western philosophies. While doing that and also teaching the newly initiated sadhus, I realized that something was amiss. And with the help of a couple of realized souls there, then I went into deep meditational practice. After 14 years, I left the sadhu order and returned to the UK. Currently, I provide mindfulness sessions in the NHS for the well-being of staff and the patients, and also in some private hospitals. We also deliver some sessions on the different groups online to just actually figure out and let the people know that meditation is the key to our well-beingness. Thank you very much. And now we shall start. As Dinesh mentioned, that there would be a few contents, like one is the well-being tip every week, and then the scientific benefit of meditation, and then some practice, and at the end, some wisdom sharing. Today's topic is salt, the forgotten silent killer. This is our disclaimer. As we know that I am not the medical professional, but we have researched in depth the work of scientists and medical professionals. And this entire series is based on this research. We always hear about sugar, that sugar can cause diabetes, or sugar is a culprit or a very dangerous element to cause diabetes. And we rarely actually hear about salt. But salt can cause diabetes. In the short term, when you have more salt, your brain makes you thirsty to balance the sodium-potassium ratio. Do you ever wonder why the pubs have salty snacks? Because so you drink more alcohol. As we consume more salt, we become more thirstier. Your kidneys excrete more urine to remove sodium from your body. But this is only true for the short term. What happens if you keep having excessive salt? Then your body uses a different technique. It does not make you thirstier anymore. But your kidneys use urea to conserve water, to hold back water. Now, because of that, to retain water, kidney needs urea. And liver produces more urea because kidney is demanding more urea. And as we know that nothing comes free, so liver demands more energy, more food. And in order to get more energy, you eat 20 or 30% more. And because of that, you have more glucose in your blood. To remove the glucose from your bloodstream, body secretes more insulin. And then after a while, because of the excessive insulin, cells are fed up and then they actually reject insulin. Cells develop insulin resistance. And because of that, glucose remains in your bloodstream. And when there is excessive glucose in your bloodstream, it results in diabetes. So if you are consuming more salt or high salt, then that can also cause diabetes. Now, how much salt do we need? Generally, 100 milligrams salt contains 40 milligrams of sodium. And according to our physical structure, we need from 186 to 500 milligrams of sodium per day. That's just a pinch, less than half a teaspoon of salt per day. Now, salt intake may be different for everybody, but look at the reality. We only require 1.25 grams salt per day. WHO recommended 5 grams salt per day because of our modern lifestyle. Global average is nearly twice, 9.9. In England, 8.1 gram, 8.01 gram. India, over 9 grams. USA, again over 9 grams. In China, nearly double, or more than double. We do not need that much salt because it can cause diabetes and so many other diseases. This is the NHS UK chart. You can see as salt consumption reduced, blood pressures also dropped. In 2003, the average blood pressure was 129.6, systolic pressure, the upper one. And when the salt consumption reduced from 9.5 grams to 8.1 gram, the blood pressure also dropped. And that resulted in less deaths from 232 per year per 100,000 by heart attack to 139. That's why in Ayurveda, Charak says that salt has apparent benefits when used sparingly, but it imbalances the internal environment when used habitually or excessively. Its excessive usage causes malaise, laxity, and weakness in the body. People who use it regularly are exceedingly depressed, have loose muscles, imbalanced blood, and low tolerance bar for pain. Hence, one should refrain from ingesting excessive salt. This was Charak more than 2000 years ago. In Chinese medicines, if large amounts of salt are taken, the pulse will stiffen and harden. This was about 4,600 years ago. So, in a nutshell, salt kills. So, if we are having excessive salt, try to reduce the consumption of salt as much as possible. We must not stop salt altogether because we do require sodium, which is very important mineral for our body. It should be exactly as per our requirement. So this was the topic for the well-being tip. Now the nurse should actually handle the next session. Thank you.
Would you take a question now, Vijay? There is a question in the chat. The question is, we always see so much about sugar in the media, but why do we not hear about salt?
Normally what happens is that we do know about the diabetic condition because of the excessive glucose in our bloodstream. And we always tend to say, measure your sugar. But there are so many causes for diabetes, not just sugar. For example, refined oil can also cause diabetes. But people do not talk about the causes, they only talk about the effect. And the effect remains in our bloodstream, and that is glucose. And that is why you always say sugar in blood, or glucose in our blood. Actually, people should be actually educated that sugar cannot cause diabetes, but when we have diabetes, then sugar is very harmful. Also, excessive sugar can cause diabetes, but it is not the only cause. Like salt or refined oils and other factors can also cause diabetes.
I will now start the topic on meditation, the scientific benefits of meditation. So within this self-transformation series, meditation is obviously a very important part of this series. And today, one of the scientific benefits of meditation that we are going to cover is respond, not react. Vijay has already gone through the disclaimer, so I'm not going to repeat the disclaimer. So we hear these words, respond versus react. While these words seem similar in semantics, the difference between responding and reacting in stressful situations can be profound. Reactions tend to go like this. Something happens, you panic, then you proceed. Responses tend to go like this. Something happens, you pause, you process, you plan, and then you proceed. The difference between the two, meaning response or react, lies in a deep breath, a pause, or a brief moment of mindful presence. And that moment can mean the difference between sending the entire situation or relationship soaring to greater heights or falling down a slippery slope. Therefore, there's a very nice quote. When you react, you are giving away power. When you react, you are giving away power. When you respond, you are staying in control of yourself. This is from Bob Proctor. So now, in order to understand response and react, we need to understand what actually happens in our brains. Every reaction starts with a change in our breathing pattern. When we are scared, our breathing pattern changes. When we laugh, our breathing pattern changes. When we cry, when we are excited, when we are happy or sad, the first thing that changes is our breathing pattern. In 1991, Dr. Feldman from UCLA discovered a cluster of about 3,000 neurons located deep in the brainstem. This was called the breathing control center, or the pre-BOT-C. This cluster of neurons is responsible for different types of breaths, such as regular, excited, gasping, sighing, yawning, sleeping, laughing, sobbing. Thereafter, researchers at Stanford University identified more than 60 separate neuronal subtypes of these 3,000 neurons. And they assessed the role of each cluster or a group of neurons by selectively deactivating those genes in mice. And whilst they were doing this research, they identified a cluster of 175 neurons, which were distinguished by their shared expression of two genetic markers. One is called the CDH9, and the other one is called the DBX1. And what did they then realize? First, they deactivated these two genetic markers in mice, but they found that when these markers were deactivated, there was no variation in the breathing. However, very surprisingly, after a few days, they noticed that these mice became extremely calm. Generally, when you put mice in a novel environment, they sniff around, look for an escape route and food, and would explore the surroundings. With these two deactivated genetic markers, these mice were just relaxing. The difference between mice and humans in the genome is just 3%. A 3% change can make a mouse a man and a man a mouse. Basically, it's just 3%. So then this cluster, if this cluster of neurons do not affect the breathing pattern, what are they? The scientists inferred that they are actually spies. They spy on the breathing pattern and report their findings to another structure in the brain stem, the locus coeruleus. When our breathing pattern changes, these 175 neurons notice the change and alert the brain's control center through various neurological pathways. Our brain has two strategies: fight or flight, or rest, relax, and digest. And according to the flight or the fight mode, the brain starts releasing hormones to deal with the situation. Scientists have dubbed this pathway as the pranayama pathway. Pranayama means breathing exercise. Dr. Feldman concluded the pre-board C now appears to play a key role in the effects of breathing on arousal and emotions, such as seen during meditation. So now we need to understand what part does meditation play in this. So here comes the importance of mindfulness or meditation. If you see the chart, so when we look at people who meditate, a person becomes very, very calm. It actually helps in slowing down or deactivating the genetic markers CHD9 and DBX1. Similarly, what meditation does is also reduces pain very effectively. So one of the important benefits of meditation is it calms us down. It teaches us how to respond but not react. So what is meditation? Meditation is being in the present. Meditation is being in the here and now. Meditation is focusing on a singular point. Just for clarity, meditation is not a religious practice. It is all about seizing the moment. It is all about you. It is all about you to be in the here and now. No past impressions, no future anxieties, just the present. Because you live only in the present. The past has gone, and the future only arrives as the present. So what does meditation do? Meditation trains those spying 175 neurons to adopt the watch and wait policy. It deactivates the two genetic markers, CDH9 and DBX1. It trains us to respond, not react. It controls the release of hormones. All of us have 1,440 minutes every day. Spare only 10 minutes a day to be in tune with yourself. Anywhere, anytime. So how do we meditate? Basically, sit in a comfortable position, close your eyes, interlock your fingers. You can focus on any singular point, on the center of your forehead, a fingertip, on your heart, or on your nostrils. Focusing on the breath is generally much easier to start with. Keep observing your breath going in and coming out at your nostrils. If your mind wanders somewhere, bring it back to your nostrils to observe your breath. Breathe normally and naturally. Your breathing will automatically slow down. Keep observing your breath. We will now do a 10-minute meditation practice along with music. So if everybody would please sit in a comfortable position, close your eyes and focus on your breath, and I will start the music. We do meditation for 10 minutes. There is 30 seconds left. You may slowly bring back your awareness to your body and your surroundings. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Please place your fingers in your eyes for a few seconds, and then you may open your eyes.
We have one question for Dinesh. Atre Joshi. I would love to respond, but always react with anger. This leaves me unsettled for hours after the event. How will I be prepared so I can avoid reacting?
I think the answer is simple. Nothing happens just spontaneously or instantaneously. The reaction is what we have been conditioned and what we've been doing all our lives. So, the reacting. So now we need to meditate. So meditation is obviously the answer to this question. However, there is also, in the shorter term, when somebody is panicking, someone is anxious, the one advice which everybody gives is stop, take a deep breath. So breathing deeply will also help in us responding, pausing. So that's why everybody says take a deep breath. So as far as breathing is concerned, the mantra is inhale deep and full through the nose, deep and full, and exhale slow and long. So that will help in the intermediate period. And once we start practicing meditation, we will start to pause, take a deep breath, and then respond rather than react. Vijay, will you now take the, okay, Jaimini Patel has asked a question. I find it difficult to still my mind. I keep thinking about the process. Vijay, would you like to answer that question? You are on mute.
That's always the question, isn't it? That we always find it difficult to concentrate and still our mind. Again, the solution is very simple. As Dinesh mentioned before in the scientific benefit, if we keep concentrating on a singular point or even on our breaths, and that will train our neurons to settle down. And eventually, our mind will also become still. But if we, in the spiritual path, they always says that do not think about any destiny or goal. If we keep thinking that I want to be still, then again our mind is working. Sometimes people replace thought with another thought. Our mind is always wandering around, and then someone would say, okay, now start chanting the mantra, or start reading some scriptures, or start doing something else, or start even thinking about yourself. So what we are doing, our mind is replacing one thought with another. And that's why it will still keep wandering. So idea is very simple. Just focus on a singular point, either on your breath or on the center of your forehead or even on a black dot on the wall. And by doing that, our breathing will automatically slow down. And that will train the 175 neurons in Pribotsi structure in our brainstem to watch and wait. And by that way, we actually can keep our mind very still.
There is another question regarding meditation. Can you describe a challenge that you faced when you started to meditate, and how did you overcome this? Vijay?
You can start anyway.
Okay, so I started meditating. I'll talk about an incident which I think is quite important. So, as a sadhu, I had actually gone to the three dhams in India, Haridwar, Rishikesh, and then we went up to Gangotri and Badri Kedarnath, etc. Yeah, we went there, we came back, and after coming back, the enlightened soul who had always been guiding my spiritual progress and who I was very close with actually slept on my face. And so, when I went back and I prostrated in front of him, he actually slapped my face and he said, "Where has all your knowledge gone?" And then he said, "Do you think you are going to find God in a place of pilgrimage? Are you going to find God in a temple? Are you going to find God in an image? Are you going to find God in an individual?" He said, "No, stop looking outside, start going within." And that triggered the meditation practice. Initially, I started by just sitting for 15 minutes. Even 15 minutes was a big challenge because, the mind wanders. But, the one thing that I had decided was that I'm going to sit for 15 minutes. I'm not going to get up. I think that decision really helped because the mind wanders, and then you say, what's the whole point of meditating? Then you stop meditating and you start doing everything else. So I think the first thing was the mind obviously wandered. So sitting down and having that discipline, and that discipline then I increased to 2 to 3 hours in the morning and another 3 hours later on. So, a total of about 6 hours every day. The mind obviously continued to wander. Sometimes, for a few minutes or longer, the mind hasn't had any thoughts as such, and then it starts wandering. The main thing is not to give any energy to those thoughts, bringing your focus back to your breath. The mind is going to continue wandering, you bring it back to the breath. And then eventually, you start experiencing so much peace, so much profound peace that, it actually, you want to meditate. Vijay, your opinion?
That's correct, actually. When mind is motion, so it will always flow. And when you block your mind, or when you're trying to block your thoughts, it's like a dam on the river. The force will increase, and there will be many more thoughts in your mind again. The idea is to observe your thoughts. Do not react, do not even respond to your thoughts. Just observe your thoughts. And if you observe your thought, and because thought or mind are nothing but energy, it will shy away. So if you actually try to replace your thoughts with another thoughts, then your mind will not stop. But just observe your thought, and observing the thoughts it is making the mind going still. And eventually you will find that your mind has generally stopped. There will be very, very few thoughts to start with, and then there will be absolute peace you can experience. So just observe your thoughts and do not react or respond to any of your thoughts.
Do you want to now do your wisdom sharing piece, please?
Yeah, okay. When a baby is born, for everyone around, that baby remains in the center. Everything changes and everyone adjusts to the newborn. When a gardener has a seed or a bulb of a plant, there is only one aim in mind: to provide appropriate environment so that seed or bulb can blossom. Just look around you. The entire existence scatters for you. You have a self-supportive, self-serving, self-sustaining system. When one is born, what if others may ignore? There we have hormones to express various emotions. We have genetically inbuilt instincts of attachment, feeding, survival, procreation. The entire existence is supportive for our life to flourish. From a minute mineral for our cells to this infinite mega universe. Everything orbits around you. You are in the center. A gardener does not manipulate to grow roses out of daisy. Instead, seeds are nourished to flourish according to their nature. This is spirituality. To accept everything and everyone as it is, as they are. And this is a fundamental difference between spirituality and religion. We have ligaments in our body that attach bone to bone, keeping structures together. The word ligament is derived from Latin ligare, meaning to bind, to join. When you rejoin or rebind, in Latin the verb is religare. From this verb religare, word religion is derived. Religion means to rejoin, to rebind. To rebind the like-minded people and shun others. Or if you are not one of the like-minded ones, you become one. But as we know, every skull has different skills. Every member of humankind has a unique mind. The existence is full of varieties. Every living organism has a different signature. Trying to mold it in a prejudiced shape is the denial of one's existence. It is unspiritual. Trying to fit one's existence in a preset frame is not spirituality. It is religion. Spirituality is that where you matter. In religion, you are not in the center. In religion, there is a particular Godhead in the center. In religion, there is a book or a scripture in the center. In religion, there is a messenger, a guru, a prophet in the center. In religion, there are set rituals in the center. In religion, there are principles, dogmas in the center. In religion, there are do's and don'ts in the center. In religion, something and someone are in the center, but not you. You for whom the entire existence scatters for are not in the center in religion. Whereas in spirituality, you an individual are in the center. Because spirituality is not about what you are, who you are, or where you are. Because spirituality has nothing to do with what you do or what you believe in. Spirituality is all about knowing yourself. Spirituality is all about realizing your reality. Religion focuses on someone and something else. Spirituality focuses on you. In religion, you orbit around a godhead, a book, a messenger, a ritual, a principle. You are a slave, a follower, or a dependent. In spirituality, there is no master-slave relationship. In spirituality, there is no other. Because no matter whoever you are, whatever you are, however you are, just 3 levels deep, we all are one. This body is made up of organs, flesh, blood, bones, ligaments, etc. All of these are made up of cells. In turn, cells are made up of molecules. If you go deeper, you will find that all molecules are made up of atoms. Now break an atom. Atoms are made up of electrons and other particles. Can you differentiate atoms or even molecules? We are not able to say that this molecule belongs to you or to me or to a flower, or that sand grain is the owner of this particular molecule. Go 1 level deeper. We cannot say that this is a male atom or a female atom, or one atom belongs to a Hindu and another to a Christian, or it has a signature of a white or a black or a brown person, or it belongs to an insect or to a dust particle. At molecular or at atomic level, all varieties cease to exist. All differences are leveled. There remains no other. Everyone and everything is one. In spirituality, there is no reception. There is no rejection. There is no other. There is only oneness. Because we all are one. Be one with this entire existence. That is all acceptance. That is spirituality. And this is the beginning of realization. This was from Sakshi Upanishad. Now anyone who would like to share their experience or wisdom, please unmute yourself and please do so. Thank you.
Vijay, there is one question in the chat, if you can please answer. In your opinion, what is the one thing that I can work on which will bring me maximum benefit in terms of self-transformation?
Just observe yourself. Because when we actually observe ourselves, we realize that what we are doing. Normally what happens? We always split the existence between so many things. For example, we decide to sit for 1 moment or 10 minutes or 15 minutes to do some meditation. And then we get up and we think that we can manage multitasking. But as we know that multitasking is a myth. A mind cannot do two things at a time. Obviously, your subconscious mind can do, but conscious mind cannot manage 2 things at a time. There is even a microsecond difference there. What we normally try to achieve, that we always divide our existence in many entities. I will first finish my dinner and then I will sit for meditation. And that's actually wrong attitude. Whatever we do, anything we do, Just be there in that particular moment, in that particular present time. Just be there. If I'm eating something and thinking about anything else, then I will not even able to know the taste of food. But if I am there at that moment, and I am eating this food, you will also taste your food better, and you will be in that present moment. Meditation is all about being in the present, and that's it. If you dance, then be in dancing. If you are singing, then be in your singing. If you are walking, then be in your walking. Very simple idea to be in the present. Gautam Buddha left the entire kingdom and became the hermitage, and he sat under the tree for so many days. And once when he realized what he said first, I did not need to leave my kingdom. Just be there in the present, whatever we are doing. That's the key for realization and to achieve the peace or profound peace from meditation.
Thank you very much. Does anyone have any other questions or would like to share any experiences? So a big thank you to everyone for joining today's first self-transformation series session. We will be holding these sessions every Saturday. We will be sending out the invites later in the week. So please do join. If you have any suggestions regarding any topics that you would like covered, we are most welcome to send us those suggestions, and please feel free to forward these invites to your friends and family. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and namaste, everybody.